At first glance, we have a 4-band EQ, which is going to be bass, low mids, high mids, and treble. And then, honestly, this is where it really gets into depth with leveling out the tone a little bit, because a lot of other, like, say, whether it's Angular or whatever other device you might be using for these purposes, you usually just kind of see a mid frequencies knob to determine the mid-range frequency, if the option is even there. Well, we've got more than that. In fact, we have 3 different options for the low mid-range frequency, and then also 3 different options for the high mid-range frequency in this EQ. So for the low mids, we can have it down here at 250 hertz, and then up at 500 hertz. And then in retrospect, for the high mids, we can have it down here at 750 hertz, and then up here at 3 kilohertz, and then up here at 1.5 kilohertz. And then we have the respective knobs for the low mids in the EQ to boost or cut that, and then a knob to boost or cut the high mids in the EQ as well. So if you're really looking for some versatility on how you can EQ your mid-range and your bass's tone, this is a great pedal for you. So just to kind of demonstrate how some of these different mid-range frequency filters sound, I'm going to plug up real quick and I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of that. And we'll start with the low ends and we'll go from bottom to top, and then we'll run over to the high mids, and then we'll go from bottom to top on that as well. And then when we're demoing the low mids, I'm going to crank the knob for the low mids a little bit, and then when we're demoing the high mids, I'm going to crank the knob for the high mids a little bit. So let's listen to how these toggle switches with the different frequencies can engage our tone. So, I mean, as you can tell, both with the EQ function of this pedal and with the distortion function of this pedal, it is very in-depth and very detailed into how you want your tone to sound. And there's a lot of versatility, a lot of different options that you can utilize. So what I want to demonstrate now is something I briefly touched on earlier in the video about how you can send a cab simulation signal out XLR. The cool thing is you can do that out of the XLR jack while sending a clean signal, 1/4 inch, to your amp or whatever, right out of the 1/4 inch jack. This really comes in handy because in a lot of modern bass setups, a bass player will often send 2 signals of their bass to the house. One of those signals is going to be their amplifier on stage, which they have mic'd up, and another signal is going to be just their direct bass tone. Or in other cases, they may just run their direct box while using the amplifier as a monitor on stage. If you want to send 2 signals to the house like that, one of an amp sound and one of a 1/4 inch sound from your direct box, but you're not using an amplifier on stage, this pedal makes a way that you can still send both signals. All you do is you send them 2 signals straight from this pedal. You go out the XLR, load up your favorite amp cab IR, and turn on this amp cab simulation, and that's going to send an amp sound out the XLR, and then you also send them a direct line from the pedal itself from this jack up here. So what that's going to do is that's going to give them, kind of an amp simulated output and then a direct output as well. And so I'm going to demonstrate how it might sound if you were to run 2 signals from this thing. You can get a very round bass tone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out XLR with the amp cab simulator on, and I'm going to pan that to the left of what you hear. And then I'm going to go out 1/4 inch, and I'm going to pan that to the right of what you hear, so you can hear both sounds in stereo. Let's check it out. So that's extremely cool, and just goes to show some of the versatile tones you can get using this pedal. It is a great pedal for rock bass players if you're playing metal, a lot of overdrive. I also think that it's a great pedal for worship bass players because sometimes worship music will have distorted bass sounds depending on the song. So you can send a great clean signal, with a stellar EQ, and then you can trigger distortion when needed as well. And then also the ability to send both, a simulated amp cab and your direct box tone at the same time to the house. That really kind of adds something really cool with this pedal. So I really like what it does. I think it's a great purchase, for any working bass player or even for a studio bass player. So in the description of this video, I have a link to where you can go and pick one of these Darkglass units up for yourself. And quite honestly, you do have my recommendation on checking out this really, really cool pedal. Also in the description link of this video, I've got links to the other reviews and products that I mentioned during the demo today. And I invite you to stay here on the Rumblin' Man channel because we have tons of videos of bass and bass-related gear. We have a lot of fun here, so make sure you stick with me. You can hit me up on social media, Instagram, Facebook, but it all points right back here to the Rumblin' Man YouTube channel where we are trying to reach bassists and guitarists for good, and we're going to have a great time doing that. So I very much encourage you to subscribe. I'd love to have your subscription, and if you want to hit the bell, to see my videos when they come out brand new, you can certainly do that. If you got value out of today's video, if you like the content, go on and give me the thumbs up button, and that's going to help my videos be seen in YouTube's searches by having your various thumbs up. I'm also on crowdfunding sites like Patreon because I'm currently just doing YouTube full-time, and I could really use your help continuing to keep content coming out on a regular basis and in the best quality that we know how to do. So guys, thanks so much for checking out this video today. I certainly hope it helped, and I will see you on the next one. God bless you.